Absolutely brutal way to go out, man. Absolutely brutal. I mean, I don't know if you can script a way to go out like that that's worse than that. I legitimately don't. Let me do this. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. You know what it is. Share to all those groups. Share to all those social media pages. If you're watching us on Twitter, hit the retweet, comment, all that good stuff. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell. I am going to take your calls tonight against my own probably something I shouldn't do. At the end of the show, we will take your phone calls here. So be on the lookout for that. Stay with us. We'll take your thoughts, questions, concerns, all that good stuff as well. You can send a super chat as well. If you want your comment read, we will get to that as well. Leighton Linder. I don't know who this person is that keeps calling me. With a $9.99 super chat, says biggest shout out to this pitching staff, stepped up and pitched their hearts out all postseason. Go Tigers. So look, tonight's game, I thought when you went to Sam Dutton, thank you, Leighton, for the super chat. When you went to Sam Dutton, I get what Jay was trying to do there. He can't get out of the first. It could have been a lot worse. 3 straight singles. You only give up 2 runs. Javen Coleman comes in, closes the door, but in the second inning can't get anything going. So then you go to Will Helmers, who quite honestly gave you the performance of a lifetime tonight. And I'm going to be honest, you squandered it. You couldn't get anything going at the plate. I thought that some of your at-bats tonight were really bad, exceptionally bad. I thought Tommy, again, was pressing way too much tonight. So for that, I don't know what to say. But nevertheless, I thought that you pressed. Hold on. This person's called me 17 times. Whoever this is from Lafayette. Stop fucking calling me. If you're in the show and you're watching it, stop fucking calling me. Can you please stop calling me? Thank you. All right. Rolo says, considering how we looked with a $9.99 super chat, says, considering how we looked during the season, I was praying for postseason. Everything else was gravy this year. If we develop our freshmen, get some pieces from the portal, we will be scary. I agree. I agree with both of those. I thought you pitched your heart out tonight. Look, the biggest question that we go to here, okay, is for example, all right, should you have gone away from Nate Ackenhausen? Nate comes in, he strikes out the side, you go to Gage jump, and not only does he give up the tying run, he gives up the go-ahead run. I don't ever like, and I've said this isn't just a one-time thing. I've said this on multiple post-game shows. I don't like when starters come in at the end. I don't. But everybody's acceptable. And Nate has been shaky. But so has everybody else. And Jump has not been in this role. And I think it's very hard for you to ask him on 2 days rest, 3 days rest to come out of the pen. I'm not blaming anything on Gage Jump. It's a hard situation to be in. Right? Like a very difficult situation to be in. So I don't blame him for that. But you had exceptional performance from your mound, guys. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm against the number 4 team of the country. You battled with them. And Will Helmers, guys, you can't script anything else better from him. Guys, he went 12 up, 12 down. And then finally gave up a hit. Then got 3 more dudes right after that. So gives up a leadoff hit. Then gets 3 more. So of the 16 batters Will Helmer faced in a row, he got 15 dudes out consecutively. Or 12 guys out consecutively. 15 of the 16 guys were out. Only one got a hit, and it was the first guy that he saw twice. Absolutely exceptional, man. Absolutely fucking exceptional. I can't, at least for me, I don't think that you can, for what it's worth, ask anything more from him. I mean, just an overall fantastic performance. Let's go through some of the game here tonight and some of the miscues and some of the good things you had. All right. We talked about the top of the first, but you come back in the bottom of the first, you got runners on second and third. Pearson rolls over one to second base. You get a run. So a very bad first inning, but you're able to get back to it and get back from it, okay, and get a run. So the damage isn't as big. You get a run. Jake Brown then comes up, which we'll talk about Jake Brown here in a minute, okay? Jake Brown then goes yard in the second inning to tie it, which is a massive deal because we'll talk about Jake. And Jake almost got another one tonight too, and it was something that we talked about the other night. Now, this is something that really pisses me off too. I asked, okay, and got ridiculed by the Baton Rouge media. Look, right field is a position that is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. I know Pearson's been in left, but I mean, it's just moving a guy that hasn't had experience there. It's tough, man. It's tough. So, but Pearson comes up, ties it in the bottom of the second. Bottom of the third, Jones gets a home run. Pearson gets a double into right field. And from that point on, you legitimately had no offense. Both of UNC's guys, their best two arms out of the bullpen, shut you down. In the bottom of the fourth, 1, 2, 3. In the bottom of the fifth, 1, 2, 3. In the bottom of the sixth, 1, 2, 3. In the bottom of the seventh, 1, 2, 3. In the bottom of the eighth. The only reason they didn't go 1, 2, 3 is because Jones had another walk, which he had. Dude was exceptional at the plate this weekend, and Pearson forced their shortstop to have a error on what was a really hard hit ball, tipped off the glove of the pitcher, and then you had runners on, but Braswell hit a really hard ball in the right field. And then, so guys, we're talking about from the third inning on, you did nothing at the plate. Like legitimately nothing. You weren't even threatening them. They locked you down. Their two best arms from the pen came in and locked you down. And that's just the truth. When you have 5 innings where they're getting you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I mean, basically, they should have done it to you in the bottom of the 8th. They don't, okay, because of their miscue and their inability. It's horrible. You go to the bottom of the 9th. Travinsky hits a line drive into right center field, but Brown hits a massive tank into center field that dies at the warning track, and then Kling strikes out. I don't know what you do there. I legitimately don't know with Kling. You got a runner that advanced, so I don't know. But they came back at you when you went to jump in the top of the 9th, and they got multiple hits. The 3-strike, they got a double. The 3-strike bunt that Tommy tanks, which was massive amount of awareness, okay, for him to roll that, let it roll foul for the 3rd strike, and that being an out. The problem is that the 9-hole hitter, guys that had one hit going into the at-bat, in the top of the 9th, gets an RBI single. Blue RBI single. And you couldn't get the 9 guy out. You walked, got a line out, and then a ground out to shortstop. You go to the top of the 10th. Jump is back in. He gets 2 outs. You're 1 out away from getting out of the top of the 10th. Castanazzo hits a double in the right field, the Jake Brown error. This game is not on Jake Brown. And I'm just going to be honest. I know a lot of people were like, oh, well, you got to catch it. You're right. You do have to catch it. But that is a freshman in crunch time, man. A freshman in crunch time. If you're going to blame this game on Jake Brown, you're going to have a conversation with me, and we're going to have a debate in reference to how you go that many innings without getting any offense going. So, yes, I understand it's a crucial play, but, and I tell you this in football all the time, everybody thinks all the time in every sport, one play makes or breaks things. It's never just one thing that makes or breaks from you winning or losing the game. You cannot be at the plate. You got and just go blank. You can't. And I understand that you had arguably two of the best arms that you could have faced out of the pen. But the problem with that is I thought your bats were really bad. Just being honest. I thought you were swinging a lot of bad things. I know the guy behind the plate tonight was ass, but you know, twice you lost games against really good opponents because I thought I thought worse than the Brown catch. I thought pulling Ackenhausen was worse. The reason I say that is if Ackenhausen gives up a bomb, okay, you're tied. Or if he gives up a hit, all right, well, then you can go to jump. Then I understand going to jump. But a guy that is in that kind of rhythm, I mean, you're going back to the Tennessee game where of 6 of the 9 batters he faced versus Tennessee, he strikes out. I understand, though, going to jump. You're talking about going to your ace in the 9th to close it out for you to win to host a super regional. And that, I think, for me, stings the most, is that you could have hosted a super regional. Me saying all that before we get to a lot of your comments here is this. I literally came into the show and we hit the go live button. And some dude named Dustin said, Jay Johnson is Paul Maneri. I'm not going to take y'all's Jay Johnson criticism. Guys, he's been in the postseason 3 times. Every year he's been here, he's been in the postseason. 2 regionals, and he won a national championship. I understand it. I legitimately understand it. But this team is an out away, legitimately, an out away from you hosting a super regional this next weekend. But you're not. It is a brutal way to go down against a team that I don't think that, I'm going to be honest, I don't think is as good as people are making them out to be. They're about as even as you. They're not as good as you. If I'm being, they got better arms than you, and that's what beat you. And you know what's interesting? The thing that Jay had said the most this entire season was this: guys, we will go as far as our bullpen takes us. It's true. It's 1,000% true. But this wasn't on your bullpen. Legitimately, it was on Gage Jump coming out, going into a situation that he hasn't been in, guys, since February. Gage Jump has not come out of the pen since February. So even Jay doing that, I don't think is guys, I can't blame him for that. Again, let's go back through it before I get to all your comments, thoughts, questions, concerns. After the 3rd, so the 4th, you go 1, 2, 3. The 5th, you go 1, 2, 3. The 6th, you go 1, 2, 3. The 8th, I'm going to say you go 1, 2, 3 because they committed an error. It is what it is. And the 9th, you have 1 hit. So the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, you did nothing. 5 innings of getting blanked at the plate. Even the 9th, Neal strikes out. Who, look, man, I think Brady Neal, okay, he's going to have to learn how to start hitting the ball to the opposite side of the field. A lot of guys are. You can't be pull heavy. He's going to have to learn to take the ball the opposite way. Same with Pearson in a lot of regards too. But he K's up and Travinsky line drive single in the right field. It was only a matter of time. He sent a couple of those out there to right field tonight that were really well hit. And Paxton clean K's up. So that's it. That's it. Let me say this. I hate it for Hayden Travinsky. I hate this for Alex Milazzo. I hate this for Will Helmers. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. I hate this for Mac Bingham. I hate this for Nate Ackenhausen. All the guys that are seniors, I hate it for them. I do. I really do. This season, in and of itself, if you would have told me that you were an out away from hosting a super regional 65 days ago, not even that. Well, that 60 days ago, 55 days ago, I would have told you you're crazy. I would have told you you're crazy. Or the thing that me and you would have talked about was, okay, well, then they just pretty much dominated the other half of their season. They upset Texas A&M. They go on a run. And look, you got a young team, man, a very young team. You got guys like Braswell that will be back, Milam, Larson, Brown, Neal. Let's see what guys like Jared Jones does. He's a draft-eligible sophomore. So I don't think there's any possible way that Jared Jones comes back. Look, I think Jared Jones is going to be a second-round pick. That he answered all the questions that every scout, there are a lot of scouts that go on those Twitter spaces. Our good buddy Benny hops in them. I think he would tell you that he's probably around there, and he's going to get paid a lot of money because he proved to them that his swing and miss, that his eye at the plate has become pretty freaking good. I don't know if he comes back. If he does, then you start cooking with grease. I will tell you this, the last time that Jay lost in a regional, and if there is a silver lining, because here's the truth. A lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, and this is fine. But the truth is, this does give Jay a lot of time to hit the portal. And the last time that this almost exact situation happened to him, Tommy Tank's Paul Skeens happened. I don't know if those type of guys will hit the portal. Legitimately, I don't. But I don't think you were winning a national championship. You could have gotten to Omaha. You could have made the season a lot better, but you're not a championship level team. And that stinks, but look, it's really hard to repeat. Let me also add on to, I'm really proud of this team. Look, it might be seeming like I've crapped all over this team. I'm not trying to, and I apologize if it's coming off that way. But I am very proud of this team. I think that they fought to the bitter end. I thought that they gave you everything that they had. From the beginning of the season till last, they gave you everything that they had. So, yeah. All right. Let's get to a couple of your comments. We'll get to your phone calls here in a little bit. We have 1,804 people in here. I'm going to ask you all, before we get to all your comments, do me a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups. If you're on Facebook, share. If you're on YouTube, we got a lot of people in here on YouTube. So I think over 300 or close to it and not as many likes. So everybody hit the like and share. And please do us a favor. Bailey Jones says, I think Jay threw a Hail Mary by putting in jump. So Bailey, thank you for the super chat. I wouldn't say it was a Hail Mary. I think that he just wanted his ace to come in and close it. The biggest issue that I have, okay, at least for me, okay, may have been pulling Ackenhausen. Guys, that's also the hindsight's also 2020. It's also 2020. So I just think the two teams that you played in the last month that are really good, and Ackenhausen is involved in the game, I think that you pulled him too early. That's what I believe. But I'm probably going to have people disagreeing with me on that, but it is what it is. I'm very proud of this team, though, man. Very proud of this team. They gave you everything that they had. And they battled. They fought. Guys, you got a lot. You cannot, and I'm sure Jay would tell you this, or anybody would tell you this. Any head coach in the country would tell you this. You cannot buy, legitimately, you cannot buy the experience that those three freshmen that were starting tonight had. You can't. You legitimately can't. So it is what it is. Bailey, thank you for the super chat. Blake on Twitter says, I have a feeling Nate would have gotten rocked if he went back out there. Well, the problem with that theory, Blake, is in saying that Ackenhausen would have gotten rocked. The same situation happened because Jump comes in, the first pitch, the first guy that he sees, literally on the third pitch, he gives up a double in the left field, right? Like, okay, he would have gotten rocked. How can you say that he would have gotten rocked when legitimately, Ackenhausen came in and struck out the side? I don't agree with you, nor do I agree with a lot of your takes, but I don't agree with you. Rick says, if we're gonna what if, how nice would it have been if Riley Cooper was in our bullpen? Ain't that the truth? Trip Block with a $199 super chat says, who do you think comes back? Well, obviously the guys that can, right? Like Milam, Braswell. I think Braswell comes back. Larson, Brown. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Kling. I don't know if Kling comes back. I'm not saying he's going to the draft or anything. I just don't know if he doesn't hit the portal. Pearson is a junior, so I would expect maybe Josh Pearson to possibly come back. You know, he's got the COVID year. I would expect him to come back. His brother's going to be on campus next year. I think Neal comes back. Uoa. I'm not completely 1,000% sure on the status of Will Helmers because Will does have a COVID year. I'm sure someone can bean count me on that. I'm just unsure of his status. I don't know. I think Christian Little's gone. I think Jalen Coleman, they're going to tell to go. I think Sam Dutton returns. Who else would y'all want to know? But I'm guessing at this exact moment. I'm guessing. But you have both of your middle infielders returning. And look, man, you got to go portal hunting. I will tell you that I how do I want to say this without getting anybody in trouble? Well, fuck it. I mean, it's not going to get anybody in trouble. NIL is a thing. Money's lined up. Okay. I think you will go get good guys. You're probably going to have to wait on some of them until their season ends. But yeah. And you got a slew of guys. Chili Vic says, thoughts on Jump's first 20 or so pitches. Hashtag fastball. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Gallagher has been so bad the last 2 days at catching up to fastballs. He gets a double. You go to a slider on Wilkerson. The first time you throw a slider, he hits a RBI single. I don't know. I mean, the one time that he threw a slider, he gave up the RBI. Or he gave up the run. I don't know. You know, like I even tweeted out, I'm pretty sure I would have kept in Ackenhausen, but that's just me. I don't like pulling a guy that strikes out the side, man. I don't know how y'all feel, but that's just me. But Jay knows well more about shit than I do. And the thing is, if we're going to play Monday morning quarterback, which, you know, who am I to play Monday morning quarterback on Jay Johnson, a national championship winning head coach? I mean, I just don't like pulling a guy that strikes out the side. I don't. Trip Block says, what about Jones and White with a $199 super chat? No, Tommy Tanks is gone. I think Jared Jones is interesting. You know, like I think Jones is very interesting. Highly interesting. But he's a draft eligible sophomore. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be massive if you got him back. But I just don't know of a world that, I mean, the only thing, I mean, you could, like, there are positives that you can spend to him. Look, you can come back, work yourself into a first round pick, a top 20 pick, get more money. You know, there's a lot that you can sell to him. But what a scout would say is that there's, like, I mean, man, he's going to walk away from $2 million on the table. Like, and we're talking about signing bonus stuff. I mean, guys, I'm just going to tell you. And look, I hate having this conversation with people because everybody lies their ass off. Oh, well, he should come back. This guy should come back. I don't think Bear Jones has shit to prove. Legitimately, I don't. If somebody tosses that type of money at him, none of you in this chat would walk away from that. There's 1,977 of you in here. If any of you come in here and say that you would walk away from that type of money, you're lying your asses off. You're 1,000% lying your asses off. So, yeah, I just got sent Jimmy Lindsey's former defensive line coach for LSU, who's now at UNC, said hashtag go Hills. That's why your ass got fired too. I mean, I'm sorry for your episode, but that's why your ass got fired. You go sit your ass down somewhere. That's why you suck. That's why your ass sucks. Oh, coach, I can come back. Let me find out. Please, coach. Yeah, you want to talk that shit. All right. Let's get to some more comments here. Yeah, I saw that shit from him. I saw that shit. I'm not playing that shit with him. Pete says, Blake Ruffino, if I was offered $2 million, I'm gone. 1,000%. 1,000%. I mean, nobody in the guys, none of you, cut the bullshit. None of you would pass that up. None of you. Stop the cap. Stop the bullshit. John Sibley Butler, what's up, buddy? He says, thanks for a great season with a $20 super chat. Always, my man's always dealing in here. Thank you so much. He says, do you think the program is in great hands for the future? Whoa, 100%. Guys, a regional loss does not, like, I mean, here's, if you want me to tell you the truth, I didn't think you'd get this far. I legitimately didn't. Selfishly, Butler, Jimmy, John, like I'm talking about basketball. John, do I think it's in good hands? 100%. Because look, y'all can say, let me tell you what y'all going to do. A lot of you going to do. A lot of you going to be up in here and say to yourselves, oh, well, well, Jay Johnson's like Paul Maneri, but he's like Ed Orgeron. Let me tell you something. The cloth that Jay's cut off of is more Sabanish than it is Maneri-ish, because Paul did not recruit. And the truth is, what's today? Tuesday? Monday, Tuesday? By Wednesday, Jay's going to be destroying the portal. Destroying it. He's going to be destroying it. So there is a silver lining. Legitimately a silver lining. Guys, I am a Jay Johnson Stan account. I think he's going to be here for as long as he wants to be. He can be here for 20 years. Baseball's a difficult sport. And look, North Carolina, tip of the cap to them. I mean, they battled back. They fought. But I don't think they're better than you. I'm just being honest. I just think that you couldn't overcome this adversity. You couldn't. I mean, when you go that long without getting guys on base, getting hits, getting walks, guys, you're not good. Let me say it like this. What they did tonight is exactly what you need to do to win. Clutch hitting, check. Don't panic, check. Guys, they legitimately had 3 guys come in. Think about this. They legitimately had 3 guys that they either pitch hit for, pitch ran for, or defensive subs, meaning UNC. All of them were seniors. The arm you saw tonight was they're not going to call him a senior. On the thing it says a junior. But I don't know of a guy that graduated in 2020 that's a junior, right? I mean, so a senior, a 40-year guy. I don't know how that works. They got experience, and their experience showed tonight. And in college baseball, look, what do we see every year? Experience in crucial situations, experience, talent. And if you have both, you win national championships. That's why you see a 4 seed come out of nowhere that they got like 14 dudes that are seniors, grown-ass men that should be working at Wells Fargo that are playing at Omaha. Like Florida's catcher last year was a 6-year guy. The dude already lined up to go work for Berkshire Hathaway. And with that haircut, I'm sure he's going to embezzle somebody's money. But any dude that has a hard line in their hair that has a swoop like that embezzles money. Gordon Gekko taught us that. So it was a great look, I'm not going to say it was a great season, but I will say it like this. If you would have won tonight and gone to the Supers, everything else from there would have been lanyard for me. For me. Bailey Jones says we will never give up. We'll never give up on us. It's always go Tigers. 100%. 1,000%. Thank you guys for those super chats. 100%. All right. Fuck. Guys, how many comments we got in here? Yeah, 512, 513. I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I can. Greg Paul says Wells Fargo crying face emojis. It's true. But like you didn't have the game 1. You don't have any game 1 until you get the 3rd out, dude. It's baseball. Dane Bergeron says LSU needs a damn legit hitting coach. Dane, I disagree with that. I'm at the airport waiting to leave this Fruit Loop area. Dane, what do you call Jay Johnson? I don't agree with that. Kay Beloso says hello. Gavin Dugas says hello. Kay Doty says hello. Jared Jones says hello. Michael Braswell says hello. He just hadn't been able to do anything. Alex Milazzo says hello. Guys, Alex Milazzo, before Jay Johnson got here, was hitting below 175. Let me say this again. Alex Milazzo, before Jay Johnson got here in 2 years, was hitting below 175 career batting average. Guys, he was hitting 280 this year. 280. I do think that they need to get better at what they're doing in the rotation. I think they need to get – because, guys, look, the truth is you got Cade Anderson coming back, which is a big deal. You're going to have to go back in the portal again for big arms. And I think – look, a lot of you will hate this. I don't know why you would, but a lot of you shit on Nate Yeskie. Okay? With that being said, I hope Yeskie stays because I think you do need stability. Guys, if Jake Johnson goes into a year 4 where he's got another pitching coach, that shit doesn't work. Right? Like that shit's not a recipe for success. That will be Jay's Achilles heel. That cannot happen. Cannot happen. You're going to need to keep him and let him help build that bullpen and that rotation. Jesse O'Neill with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jesse. Says, what do you think about Ethan Fry? Does he step up or roll out? It's a great question, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to, Jesse. I don't want to punt on your question there. I don't know. I think you've given him a lot of at bats, a lot of time to step up and do some things. I think that there's got to be a serious conversation had with Jay. I think there's got to be a serious conversation had with Fry. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Jay seems to love him a lot because he continues to go back to him. When Jay goes to guys, man, it's not because of out of happenstance, right? Like it's not just out of the ether. It's not just out of the blue. It's not just out of the realm of him going to I mean, he's going to probably want to keep him. Question is how much better can he get? I mean, a dude that size, 6'5", 239 pounds, 240 pounds, I mean, he's got to hit better. I mean, that's what he's here for. He's not lived up to his hype. He hasn't lived up to that billing. And look, do I want him to? Yes. Do I think he can? Also, yes. Has he? No, he is not. Lester says the season as a whole was underachieved. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd go there. Okay. I don't know about underachieved because it's underachieved based off of a ranking that D1 Baseball gave you, which, I mean, same for Wake Forest, but that's baseball. That's baseball. I mean, last year you were ranked number 1, and you were an out away from losing in Omaha. Zedrick White says Chase Shores will be, or Cole Shores will be, he means Chase. Chase Shores will be back next year. Anderson, hopefully Jump stays. I don't know if Jump stays either. But look, man, if you do get a run of guys staying, it benefits you. But like you said, Chase Shores stays or Chase Shores comes back. Anderson's here. You know, what happens in the draft? You know, like a guy like Connor Griffin, I don't think touches campus. I don't think the kid from Catholic touches campus. Maybe he does. I don't know. But, yeah. Destin Bailey says Yeski is the best pitching coach they've had in a very long time. I'm going to disagree with you on that. I am a Wes Johnson dude. I think Wes was the best pitching coach that we've had. Shit. I don't know. I think Wes is the best pitching coach that you've had. Do I think him and Nate Yeski are in the same conversation? I do agree. Dane says, Blake, LSU lives and dies with the home run. You don't need to swing for the fence all the time. W. I mean, Dane, their approach last year won you a national championship. I mean, you got a guy in your lineup that was borderline hitting. Your 1, 2, and 3 guys were borderline hitting, 30, 25, and 10. I mean, I get what you're saying. But I don't agree with you. I just don't agree with you. I mean, let's see. Who would you take out? Maybe Neil? I mean, and here's the thing with that, Dane. I mean, Jay Johnson has taken guys like Gavin Dugas, Beloso. He gets a guy in the portal like Braswell. Guys, Braswell, Michael Braswell hit 75 points better than he did a year ago. He tripled every statistical category that he had besides errors. People hate the kid for more reasons than not. Okay, we're not gonna get into it why here, but a lot of you know why you hate him. Okay, does he commit errors? Yes. Jordan Thompson committed a lot of that shit too. I'm not disagreeing with you that Braswell committed a lot of errors. Didn't in the postseason. He had 1. Because Michael Braswell has had 1 error in the last 15 games. Oh, by the way, hit 350. Spectrum Wellcare says excited to see the development of Ethan Fry. We'll see. We'll see. It's time. It's time. Ryan Terrio did a lot of instructional work with Milazzo. So you're just going to give it to him and not Jay Johnson? Come on, man. Aaron Miller says, do we have to get better at hitting a balls the other way? Yes. If there is one thing that I agree with that is yes. Yes, but Jay's an offensive mind and hitting coach is top notch. Yeah, Jay Johnson's arguably the best guy when it comes to dudes being at the plate in the country. I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that sentiment. Trey says, so proud of this team, man, with a $5 super chat. Says the right move is going to jump. Jay coached his ass off this year, 100%. Go Tigers. Baseball is cruel. Huge overhaul offseason. Yeah, Trey, the only thing I disagree with there, I am happy and proud of this team. Thought they had I thought they battled back from adversity, showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of will. I'm just going to continue to disagree. Just my opinion. I disagree with going to jump there. If Ackenhausen gives up a bomb, okay. Guys, let me just say this. I can live with going with Ackenhausen in the top of the ninth after striking out the side. If he gives up a bomb to Gallagher there, okay. Right? You're playing the guy that has the hot hand. Guys, you legitimately were bitching at Jay last Sunday, okay? Almost a week ago. Today's Monday, so 8 days ago, you're bitching that he took out Ackenhausen too early. Now he comes in and strikes out the side. By the way, overcomes the adversity of absolutely shitting down his leg and pissing down his leg from the game yesterday that he had where he started off. The guy legitimately came back, gave you everything he had. Guys, do you understand? Let's take a pause for a moment here. Do we understand what it is to strike out a side against the number 4 team in the regional? The number 4 team in the country, you struck out the side. That's not like y'all acting like that shit's easy. You understand when you say Ackenhausen came in and struck out the side what you mean, right? You guys get that. You can say what you want, you can disagree, but let's just be honest here. It's honestly, arguably the toughest thing to do. Joe says, what about Ethan Petrie, though, or Petrie, whatever he wants to be known as? Let's see. So Mark Kingston, South Carolina, got fired. That dude was pure asshole. Guys, let's just be honest. That fan base shit on Michael Braswell. And guys, I had people in my comments today. I'd have to go find it, but it'd take too long. But we had people today, South Carolina fans in our mentions, shitting on him already. Shitting on him. And, if you get a guy like Petrie, then, if Jones leaves, he could play first. But here's another truth. He could also play right field. It's where he played all of his freshman year, too. All bull aside, says Trey with a $199 super chat, says Will Hammers was about it, man. Yeah, look, man. Will Helmers. Let's talk about Will Helmers. Guys, the first start, we talked about this 2 weeks ago when Will Helmers came in and dominated. He gave you 2 innings. What was the SEC tournament on a Tuesday? We talked about, it was the last post game we did the SEC tournament. Will Helmers came in, gave you 2 innings. You won you got the second win, got the bye, whatever. Will Helmers under Paul Maneri, the first game that he was ever a Tiger, started at third base. He also hit and struck out and had a hat trick. And then he pitched and then gave up, 6 runs, 6 or 7 runs? Tonight, his last time as a Tiger, gave you everything that he had. That man went out on a sword. So, thank you to him. I mean, total glue guy. Adam says, let's be honest. Having Pearson on the warning track for the 9-hole hitter was kind of bonkers. I agree with that. They're playing they're playing no doubles. I get that, but yeah. Lee says this one's on Jay. I don't agree with that. I mean, well, here's the truth. Every single win and every single loss is on your head coach. That's why those guys get paid the most. That's why they get fired when they do shit. But guys, the moral of the story tonight, like even with Jump's performance, even if you want to be Monday morning quarterbacking like me and talk about Ackenhausen, talk about Jump, whatever, like even with that, okay? Like even with that, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and guys, other than a hit in the 9th, you did not do shit. You come in the bottom of the 10th, Tommy Tank swung one at his eyes. The biggest complaint that I might have would be like, tell the dude to settle down some. He presses too much. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just call it what it is. For 7 innings, they dicked you down. They went to 2 arms and they dicked you down. Okay. Who was it? Mateus and Pence dicked you down. I mean, guys, you can't put it any other way than that. You can talk about Brown. We can talk about Ackenhausen. We can talk about whatever in the hell you want to talk about, right? Like, talk about all of it. Be nitpicky, whatever. Okay, we can talk about nitpicky shit during the season. Okay, well, the season's over. Like, everything before the SEC tournament, quite honestly, didn't mean shit because you got to flush that shit. All right, you're here now. But when you go 7 innings and you get digged down, that's the issue that you had. Right? I can be nitpicky and say Jay could go 1 at bat at a time, which I thought he should go 1 bat at a time with Ackenhausen. But that doesn't, like, Jump coming in didn't lose you a game. You weren't going to win that game with 3 runs. You weren't. Home field advantage played out for them. So we can talk about how Helmers came in and dominated. Fantastic. Elite. And look, I'm not the guy that comes in here and says, told you so, unless it's like really bad. Because I came out here on, what was it, Friday? Jump's opening performance. I said, good. Guys, I thought he was good, not great. Hey, former players, LSU players, shitting on me. Oh, he was elite. No, he played a mid-major team. He left a lot of pitches over the plate that they couldn't barrel up. And that's the fucking truth. And I think the kid's really good. I do. I'm not shitting on him. Really good. The conversation that you and I had on Friday is if he, for whatever reason, this was legitimately said on Friday, if he got back into a situation against UNC, I fear that this team would barrel you up. Go watch the show from Friday. I know that I said it because I was there and it came from me. But that's the small things that we talk about that gets completely missed. And what you some bitches do, you go on Twitter and says, well, this guy pitched in the college baseball World Series. Okay, sounds good. I like Cartwright a lot. Agree with him on pretty much everything he says. But you got to know that you got barreled up. Like, dude got barreled up versus a guy coming in and striking out the side. Momentum has got to overplay analytics. Sorry, I am more of a momentum than an analytics guy. All of that being said, doesn't mean shit because you are not going to walk out of that game with a win with 3 runs. Bottom line. Bottom line. Trey with a $199 super chat says we can nitpick. Braswell had 3 chances. Trey, can you elaborate on the Braswell thing here? He had 1 in the 8th. Didn't come up in the 10th. He got hit by a pitch. He had a line out into center. And a fly out into center. I honestly think this kid's a troll. Legitimately. I don't think this is a real account. It's the last time that we're ever putting your comments on here, dude. Curtis says, I low-key thought Pearson was going to go yard and walk it off. I did too. Dane says, can't win with 3 runs when the other team has 4 and the top of your line goes 0 for 3. I didn't go 0 for 3. Jones walked twice and hit a home run. Jones hit a home run. What inning was that? Jones gave you the lead in the bottom of the 3rd. That's not true. Yeah, that's not true. Tommy Tanks had a single to start the game off. Single right back up the middle. That's not, Dane's just not true. No, he doesn't know ball, Destin. Well, they still didn't go 0 for 3. Dane Jones walked. John says, how do you feel about Nate Yeske's pitch sequence with 1 out throwing 10 straight fastballs to the 9-hole hitter? I mean, here's the sad truth. The sad truth is that dude got jammed and he blooped it in the left field. I don't know. I don't know. Here's the question that I have. Who said that? John David Lyles. John, here's the question I have. Because Terry Rooney was in the bullpen with the guys. Terry Rooney is the director of recruiting, director, of player personnel, all that shit. And Terry Rooney was a pitching coach for LSU under Maneri. If I'm not mistaken, they won a national championship when he was a pitching coach. With that being said, here would be the question I have. I think here it is. I think Nate Yeskie is absolutely brilliant. Was there something in the bullpen that was happening when he was throwing his off-speed stuff that it wasn't working? Let me also explain. He only threw, I think, 2 strikes with off-speed pitches when he came in the 10th. So he can't locate it. I don't know. What did they see? What did they know? I see my buddy Craig's in the fight of his life in the chat too. Stay strong, Craig. Ridge says this was a team. Lose it is what it is. Nuss bus season. Yeah, it is officially football season for us. Nicholas Graves says, I love Tommy so much, but he didn't step up in this series, and he was our guy. I agree with that. Oh, God. All right. Against my better judgment, here's what we're going to do. Oh, God. Against my better judgment, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some phone calls here. Don't make me regret it. Do not let me regret. Do not let me regret letting y'all call into the show. Don't come in here with some bullshit. So 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
This is Nick Graves.
What's up, Nick Graves?
Not much. Look, this team did way better than everybody thought making it to the postseason. But like I said in my comment, this series came down to Tommy not being the leader. He did it in the SEC series. He just couldn't do it in this game.
Yeah, I thought that he had a bad series, if we're being honest, Nick. But the thing with saying that he had a bad series, too, he hit two balls last night, both that exited at 105 and 106. There was great plays at third. That's baseball. But I do think that last at bat does not cement his legacy here, but I do think that there comes a point where I thought that he did not have a great series. All right. I guess that's it from Nick. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387 is the phone number you can call in. All right. You're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Yes, this is Drew Rosenbaum from Meridian, Mississippi.
How you doing, Drew?
How are you doing, Blake, tonight?
Doing good, man. How are you? Y'all got to stop hanging up. Drew, call back in. Drew, call back in. I don't know why y'all keep hanging up. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
What's up, Blake? It's Father Matt.
Oh, God. I'm sorry for cursing so much.
Oh, you're fine, dude. How you doing, man?
Doing good, Father A-Bear. What did you think of the game?
I thought it was a heartfelt effort by Helmers. I can tell you this much. There's nobody in that dugout that's hurting more than Jay Johnson.
I agree with that, Father. Expound on that from your point of view.
Yeah, I think the guy is a hard worker. He loves his players, he loves his team, and he loves his university. And we didn't get the privilege to see what he could do in the portal and recruiting last year because he was coaching late into June.
Mm-hmm.
And we're about to see him go nuts.
I agree. I think he's about to go bananas. I legitimately do.
Absolutely.
I legitimately do.
Yeah. So,
Father, would
you feel bad for a lot of these guys?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Blake.
What would you have done in the ninth?
I would have brought Jump in.
All right, explain.
He has been ice cold as a starter. He's proven. We're short on arms as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Pressured situation. I get your perspective that you talked about earlier when you said, it's not his usual routine. You bring in a starter at the end. But man, at that point in the game, Man, you're short on options. Maybe Gavin. Maybe,
I
but he
thought
threw yesterday.
if Gavin Gidger would have came to the game, they would have hit one to your church.
I think you might be right. I mean, yeah.
They would have hit one to your church.
When I was watching Nate throw, he got out of it, but at the same time, he was on ice. I mean, thin ice.
Yeah.
And I was nervous about that, too.
Yeah, the only thing, Father, and then just to counteract this or counter my point here, the only thing is, I mean, look, the likelihood of him coming in and striking out the side, like sometimes guys are on one. You know what I mean? Like sometimes guys have it. Like the other night or the other morning, he didn't. He should have probably gone to confession for how bad he was the other morning. But, the truth is, to me, it's just like, I mean, so I felt, here's what I truly feel like. I feel like they leaned on analytics more than they did last year when momentum got them out. For example, like there's no analytic in the world that says bring in Riley Cooper ever, right? Like nothing tells you ever to bring in Riley Cooper, especially like last year when they brought him in versus Wyatt Langford. Like I thought Wyatt Langford legitimately was going to hit one to the moon and it was going to literally knock down Buzz Aldrin's flag on the moon, right? But he strikes him out. So the momentum of a guy, I just feel for me, I lean more momentum than analytics. That's just the only, and that's the only. And look, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking it, right? Like I'm 100%. So,
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's almost just a lose-lose for Jay. I mean,
right.
It's hard, man. It really sucks.
Right.
But we made a decision. We stuck with it. The guy got jammed, and he produced a hit.
I know. He had one hit all series long.
Yeah, and that's the worst part about it. He had him tied up.
You know what the worst part about it is,
I just delivered it.
Well, you know what the worst part about it, Father, is too about that? Is
what you got?
The same exact scenario happened a week ago against Tennessee.
What do you mean?
Ackenhausen gets pulled. 2 batters later, you gave up a bomb.
Yeah, that's right.
Then tonight, you pull Ackenhausen. 2 batters later, you give up the tying run. That's the thing for me. Like I thought, like last week might have taught you a lesson. Like I get it. Okay, but see the thing with Ackenhausen's also not in his routine and starting. Like the Duke has come in and been clutch for you. I mean, he was your top reliever against Florida. He was top reliever against Texas A&M. He was top reliever against everybody, and then he comes in and strikes out the side versus a guy, But anyway, all right, Father.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, go ahead.
Wait, hang on. Let me just get your opinion on one more thing.
Okay.
Can Jay Johnson just give whatever sheet of paper that he gave to Milam to Paxton Clean? Because if Paxton Clean can turn it on, dude, for next year, come on, man. Give that dude a sheet of paper he can go work on.
I think that you need to pour a gallon of holy water on him.
We might have to do that. I can do that. All right, Blake. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Father. All right. That's Father Matt Hebert. Always welcome on AYS. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387. Trey says 2 outs with runners in scoring position for Braswell 2 of the 3 times. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, Blake, it's Dakota.
Hey, Dakota. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. My first time getting to talk baseball with you, but my thought was I'm not upset about this team. I'm proud of Jay. I know this wasn't our best season that we expect, but I'm still proud that we won a championship last year.
Yep.
And, he assembled the Avengers last year. And this may not be what we were, but we can't blame all on Jay. Yes, there's some things that we did wrong today, but you know what? We almost overcame, and we almost made a super regional.
Yeah, I hope if he assembled the Avengers last year, I hope he assembles the Justice League this year. this upcoming portal window.
We need a Batman. Yeah, we need a Batman.
Yeah, I agree. Look, man, I mean, I'm to your point, and thank you for Dakota for being positive here. You know, I'm with you on. You know, I love how this team battles. You know, it's not the season that you wanted, but you know, you produced late, you got hot, you fought. It was a fun team, but it never really panned out for you here at the end.
And came close in the SEC championship.
Yep, sure did. Almost won the SEC. Hey, you could be Vandy. You could be, you know, back-to-back years you lose in a regional.
I agree.
So, all right, thank you, Dakota. I appreciate the phone call, man.
No problem, Blake.
All right. 225-435-9387 is the phone number. You can call into the show.
435.
All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
This is Nick. I just wanted to comment one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
It was that after, you know, this disappointing end of the season, but this team is scary the way you look at it for the future. There's no doubt about it. They have the #1 recruiting class of the next 3 years. I think everybody wants to play for LSU that's in the transfer portal, and this team's only going to get better.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that goes to the point said earlier that I fully believe that Jay is going to get you back on track to where we think that we need to be, you know. And the silver lining here is that look, you know he gets it at the portal.
No, that's what Jay does. He's a portal master. This loss, while it hurts, it's just a team loss. Look, we had one hit after the third inning, and that's really what this game comes down to.
1,000%.
That's, you can blame anybody. I don't think Jake Brown deserves any hate at all. That's because this team didn't even get a run in the bottom of the ninth. And after that, you didn't have anybody left in the bullpen to go to. So they didn't score there. It didn't matter.
Right. You could have gone to, Fidel. You could have gone to Gavin. But like I just told Father Matt, if you go to Gavin Guidry there, he's going to get blasted. So, I mean, they were sitting on it. Thank you, Nick, for the phone call, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for all you do, man.
All right, thank you. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have a pleasure of talking to?
What's going on, Blake? It's Doug Nose.
What's up, Doug?
How you been, brother?
Oh, man, just stressed out. What about you?
Oh, man, same. It was classic. It was a classic.
What'd you think of the game?
Oh, man, I think you bring Ack back in for at least one more batter, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, look, if this is going to be the talking piece, you know, I do agree. But like I've said all night, I do agree. At least you go batter v batter with him. You know, you find a way to just look. If he gives up a bomb, I understand it. But the problem that I had, no one would have faulted you because the guy literally just struck out the side, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah. No, I agree. I also had a huge Hog fan here tonight.
Okay,
and I just want to say, woo pig suey.
Yeah.
To Dave Van Horn. What a choke.
I love it that even in a loss, LSU fans can find a way to give Arkansas some shit.
Oh yeah, I love it. Keep Van Horn another year, baby.
Keep him another decade.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, Blake.
All right, thanks, Doug. All right. We'll take a couple more. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387. You can call in. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Yes, sir. This is Jason.
Hey, Jason, what'd you think of the game?
Man, great game. From where they started to where they finished. Everybody hollering about pulling Ackenhausen for jump. You go jump 100% of the time. Axe once they stop swinging an Ackenhausen slider, his fastball's mid, his changeup's mid. You go jump 100% of the time, like you said. You go Guidry, he gets lit up. You go Yola, you take a chance. You go Moffitt, you take a chance. I'm just excited to watch this team next year with the arms they're going to have and the talent to bring him back. And I know Johnson's going to crush the portal. I'm going to hang up and listen.
The only thing, okay, thank you. The only thing I would say to that, I don't agree with him that Ackenhausen's mid, or at least was mid today, because you legitimately struck out the side. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Blake, this is Dane. I'm in the Raleigh airport trying to get out of this place, man.
Are you drunk?
Of course. I got Dr. Daniels on one side, and I got Father James Beam on the other. I had to drink watching that tonight.
What'd you think of the game?
Well, I disagree with you respectively. I think our hitting is not as good as what it should be. Nowhere near as good as it was last year. But I do agree with you on Ackenhausen, because I'm sitting there and I had great seats. The kid was throwing smoke, man. And what he was throwing and where he was placing his pitches, they weren't going to hit one out on him. At least let him get a batter or two, see if he was going to, tank or whatever, then bring jump in. But he had a hot hand right there, and he was pumped. That's just, hey, you live and die by your decisions.
I agree. But, look, to your point, you can't go that many innings without getting a hit.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Texting, I want to call and explain it, man. We all year long, we've been leaving batters, runners in scoring position and not getting a hit. And you go swinging for the fence all the time instead of just trying to make contact and getting the ball in play.
Yeah. And, it's tough. They had some bad at-bats tonight. I appreciate the phone call, brother, man.
All right. Take care.
All right. All right. You're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, Blake. Ray Wright, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Doing good, man. How are you?
Good. Hey, man. So, look, I was at the game tonight in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Okay.
And I hadn't really got to hear too much of what everybody's saying, man. But first off, the third baseman for UNC, the leadoff, that was going to be a leadoff double with Tommy White. That was a phenomenal play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you remember? That's just big moment. Look, you know how many barrels those boys were hitting the ball hard. Our guys.
All night.
All game, man.
Yep.
And credit to the defense, man. They were playing us right. Last ball Pearson was hit hard. So here's the question I got, man.
Okay.
And jump. I felt like we're in a good situation. Obviously, you had a bad feeling about 3 runs. We didn't score from the 4th inning on, did we?
We did not. We didn't get it. We only got one hit from the 3rd inning on.
Yeah, not good, right? So, but we're still in a good position in the top of the 9th, right? So the kid, we had the bottom of the lineup up. The kids found off those 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, and then we throw him an off-speed pitch. And he hammers it for that leadoff double, right?
Correct.
And then, I swear, I don't know if I'm right, we throw about 8. The only thing, because you got to question something, right? I just questioned the pitch selection because after that, we threw 8 fastballs in a row.
Yeah, the only thing, Ray,
you know what I'm saying?
The only thing that the question I would have is this. Why do you not go to it? And is it because you have a guy that's on 3 days rest? Is it a situation where he's in the bullpen and he can't throw his off-speed stuff for a strike? Now, let's fast forward to the point that you just talked about. He threw 4 sliders in a row. He didn't throw a strike, right? So I understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
he didn't throw one for a strike, and you got bailed out on that. The guy that got the full count, that got the double, Cagazano or something for UNC, that he hit the one that hit the double. Okay, he swung at two that were out of the zone, and two of them that hit the dirt. So you come to a point where, okay, I understand the pitch selection, but if you're Nate Yeskie, do you continue to tell him to throw off-speed stuff when he can't even, like, he can't deliver it up there? So there comes another question that I have is, I mean, I just think it's nitpicky. Now, Ray, for me, and I'm just going to stand on this hill and might get tumbled down off of it, and it's fine. I don't think people at the current moment, and not you, but just people in general, like Ackenhausen strikes out the side though. Okay. Yeah. They're not seeing him. All right. And that's the point for me is when you have dudes that are swinging at everything that he's throwing, they can't see it. So
good point.
That's my point there. I appreciate the phone call, Ray. Thank you so much, buddy.
All right, buddy.
All right. You're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. This is going to be the last call of the night. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Yes, this is Drew Rosenbaum from Meridian, Mississippi. How you doing tonight? I called earlier and got cut off. Bad connection. But
I got you.
Thanks for taking my call, and thank you for what you do when you don't have to, buddy. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Just gut-wrenching way to end the year. Just a couple of quick thoughts. I know a lot of people have been dogging or questioning Jay Johnson. Let me tell you something, Blake. I don't care what these rude-poos say about Jay Johnson. I'm thankful we've got him. We can sit here and say, well, he should have done this and should have done that. That's baseball. That you can nitpick anything you want to. I'm just know this guy. We're grateful to have him, and what he's done in the 3 years so far at LSU has been just short of phenomenal, in my opinion. Also, something that I also want to say is that the young man, the right fielder, the freshman Jake Brown, could he have caught it? Obviously, yes. But let me tell you something, man. That young man, he's going to be a stud before he leaves LSU, and we need to support him and pick his ass up on that because that could haunt him for a while. And I feel sick for him. But also one last comment. We're going to sit here and talk about LSU hitting and this, that. And yes, it could have been better tonight. But were we bitching and complaining when we ripped the cover off the baseball yesterday and won two games? No, I don't think so. Jay Johnson knows what he's doing as a hitting coach / head coach. And I know he's going to feel another great season next year. And go Tigers.
Thank you for the call, man. That was electric. Thank you. All right. We're out of here. We will see y'all again tomorrow. Officially football season, I guess. And I'm sure we'll talk about Jay Johnson being in the portal and doing what he does. I hate it, man. Brian says, Blake, be honest. NC credit Act could have given up a blast, but he didn't. And he struck Brian. All right, I'm about to lose my mind now. He struck out the fucking side. Or how about this? You didn't get a hit from the third inning on. All right. Thank you all for being here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Peace.